There's been a lot of talk about Alexis Sanchez. Lord knows we've been talking about it in all our hits today, and this is kind of one. But Craig, Manchester City, we know their interest in the Chilean, but after the Liverpool game, everyone has been saying they might want to look at their defensive issues. Now, looking at their defenders, was it just a bad day for them against Liverpool, or should they really address these problems?
Well, they can do both. Briefly address the Sanchez one. I think that is more dependent on the fitness of Aguero and particularly Jesus, who's out at the moment, rather than if any defender has a stinker, because Man City have got the wherewithal to do both. Johnny Evans has been mentioned for a long time. I don't think the fact that Otamendi and Stones in particular didn't play well. Otamendi's been playing great this season, but as a unit, they didn't have a particularly good game. Stones has made now at least 3 mistakes in the last 3 games that have cost City some goals. You've got the injury to Delph who went off as well. But
you have the goalkeeper making mistakes.
Yeah, but I mean, he came out and tried to clear that one, but I don't think this whole thing. I don't think Man City are too bothered about this result, right? Because the league's done. In fact, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's quite a good thing. It's a kick up the backside. It's a reminder, right? It's a reminder. You know,
that they're not invincible.
No, you don't take your finger off you don't take your eye off the ball. You don't take your finger off the pulse. You've got to keep going. So I don't think this is going to affect their transfer strategy. I just think he's looked long term at Mangala and the options and thought, right, I need to bring 1 or 2 in. Now, Danilo should be covering both full-back positions. I'm already hearing, doesn't fancy Danilo. Paid a lot of money for him.
But you just don't think he's up to par?
Well, he came from Real Madrid, paid a lot of money for him, and you're only asking somebody to cover your right back and your left back. I mean, surely, God, he should be good enough at 30 million or what it was just to be a cover player. So, centre-half it looks like. Whether it's Johnny Evans, I don't know. I mean, it's hardly an inspiring one for Man City fans, but I think what he's looking for is somebody to cover Otamendi and Stones when Company's not fit.
Which
Stones.
Is often.
And a little kick up the backside. Well, Company probably won't play many games, but it's a little kick up the backside to John Stones in particular, I think, to say, listen, come on, you're a really good player, but when you switch off, it's a disaster waiting to happen. And I think that's what this is. It's cover for injuries and cover for players that kind of switch on and off, because when you're under a Guardiola's team, you've got to be focused all the time.
All right, thanks so much, Craig Burley. So defensive issues, yeah, they may be there, but Craig doesn't think that they're enough to change City's transfer strategies.
United then extend their lead over Jurgen Klopp's side to 3 points, still 12 adrift though of City at the top of the table. Big talking point at the moment, of course, is the future of Alexis Sanchez. He's been heavily linked to a move to Manchester United and Manchester City over the last couple of weeks as we welcome Julien Laurent to the show. However, that seems to have switched gears somewhat over the last few hours, Julien. ESPN FC sources suggesting that Manchester City are done, they're out the race, they don't want to pay his wages. And Chelsea, meanwhile, are looking to hijack the Manchester United deal for the Chilean.
Yeah, you're right. And so United hijacked the deal from City for Alexis, and now Chelsea trying to hijack the deal for United. Yes, that's where we are. City are out. They don't want a bidding war. They don't want to increase the offer they made to Alexis, who is reportedly wanting around £350,000 a week. That's the money he asked for PSG in the summer. PSG said no. He thought City would offer that. They were not so sure, and then United arrived and said, yeah, no problem, we give you that money, come to us. And you know what, I'm not sure Chelsea will match that offer. That's a lot of money for a 30-year-old, albeit, you know, a very good player, world-class player, but still a lot of money.
Over $400,000 a week. Let's take this team by team, shall we? Yep. Starting off with Manchester City.
Yeah, well, I think they're a lot annoyed about the way the business was conducted in the transfer window in August, and I think that's continued. And then they've become frustrated what's happened now in the price that Arsenal won't shift, and as Julian said, the wages as well. Look, if it was all about winning the Premier League and potentially winning the Champions League, then Alexis Sanchez would take a cut in those wages and go to Man City. I mean, that would be the sensible football move. But if it is all about the money for him, then the likelihood is it's going to be Man United. And listen, for Man United, that's a great move as well.
Who needs him more, United or Chelsea?
I think right now Chelsea needs him more. The fact that they're trying to hijack this tells you that they're searching. It tells you they're looking for a spark or a move or something to get them going, because right now the form they're in is, well, it's awful. So Chelsea need him right now. The long term, I think he's better for Manchester United.
I go to Man United. If I got the choice of those two, you know, even though we've been critical of Mourinho, it's such a big club. They are going to spend money. They will go again in the summer in the transfer window, in my opinion. And I think, as Stevie said, I mean, he would go into Man United and completely enhance their team. From a Chelsea perspective, if they are going to lose Eden Hazard at some point, potentially to Real Madrid, then that would kind of soften that blow if they were to lose a player of that ilk. But let's not forget as well, Sanchez is 29. So it's not exactly a long-term plan. But then Chelsea don't really think long-term in terms of the transfer strategy.
Given what we saw from Manchester City at the weekend, is it a mistake playing hardball with Alexis Sanchez? Do they not need him if they're going to solidify this great campaign? Talk of obviously the quadruple.
No, I don't think so. Listen, let's just calm down. They've lost one game. They do need somebody that, but you got to look at Pep Guardiola. You know, he's pulled Delph from nowhere and turned him into a left back. I'm sure he'll make some sort of move with the players he has, and they'll still be excellent. So I don't have a problem.
You got Bernardo Silva, you got Sané, you got Sterling, you got David Silva, you got De Bruyne, you got all these players. If you wanted to play with that false number 9 or whatever you want to call it, if Jesus' injury doesn't heal as quickly and Aguero gets injured, there are options there that they can still play a very attacking style. His concern about getting people in is still where he's been looking for months and months, and that is the centre-half position.
Another edition of Transferator with Craig Burley here. He's going to let me know which ones he thinks are hits and misses. Kante to PSG, Craig.
Well, I think this could happen at some point. Obviously, we're in the January transfer window. Champions League for Chelsea, Champions League for PSG. It's not going to happen. I think it could happen down the road, but I think there would be other suitors for Kante as well. Chelsea would be reluctant to sell, but with Conte potentially going, money talks. I could see, I mean, that could happen down the line, just not at the moment.
Suso, could he return to Liverpool? AC Milan says that they will be rejecting, or they have rejected, 80 million for him, but should Liverpool still go?
No, I don't think this will happen. I mean, Man United are in the business of going and buying back a player they let go for nothing, Paul Pogba. I don't see Liverpool doing the same. I think their need is in other areas. Obviously, Coutinho's gone, I know, but they still need fullbacks, they still need the goalkeeper, still need another midfielder, even though Keita's coming in. So I'm going to say no at the moment.
Kevin Gameiro to Swansea City. Who would want to go to Swansea these days? Not sure, but they do need some help, especially up front. So would he be a good fit? Well,
he would be a good fit for Swansea. He would be a good fit for them in terms of he's much better than what he's got. But I don't see Kevin Gameiro going to Swansea. I see him going on, if he is going to leave Atletico Madrid because lack of game time, he's going to go and probably go on loan somewhere else to a club that's in a better position, whether it's in England or in a different country. He's got the World Cup to think about, and if he sits in his backside all the time, how talented that French team are, the lack of games is going to be worrying. But I don't see him going to Swansea. And even if he did go there, that would be a frustrating few months for him, the way they're playing.
Here's an interesting one. Andy Carroll to Chelsea on loan.
This side's not looking very busy at the moment.
No.
Now, this one has been muted in England, so it's not pie in the sky. And they did try and get Llorente before he went to Tottenham, so they are looking for a big, powerful guy. The downside is I think the results West Ham have had under David Moyes gives Moyes a little bit more power within that board, and I think the predicament they're in would be folly to sell a player who, he's not going to play every game, but he's already shown under Moyes, when fit, he's capable of doing some good stuff. Chicharito Hernandez is probably the player that's going to leave, so can't sell two strikers. That's not going to happen. And
finally, here's another interesting one. Cristiano Ronaldo back to Manchester United. Yes, he's getting up in age, but he is Cristiano Ronaldo.
Do you know, shall I say this is going to happen? Now, it's not going to happen in January, I know that. But there's more rumours coming out about more unhappiness, and the team are not doing well, and we know his relationship with United, and I think Mourinho's pretty good. So down the line, I think potentially that is something that could happen, as much for a a commercial viability to Ronaldo's waning talents, and they are waning. They're still super, but they're certainly on the wane. But you know, let's just fill up this side a little bit and say this is not one that you go never going to happen, because they have got a good relationship.
I agree with you on that one. Thanks so much, Craig Burley. Continue tracking all of these rumors to see if they happen or not here at ESPNFC.com.
It wouldn't be a transfer window, would it, without Cristiano Ronaldo being linked to a move back to Manchester United? And that's exactly what the front page of AS is saying today in Spain. Cristiano wants to go back to United. He's told his teammates he's not happy. Real Madrid haven't kept promises, apparently, regarding his contract. Julian, is there any chance of this happening?
I can't see it. I can't see why United would want to pay, I don't know how much. I mean, the release clause is €1 billion, which no one is never going to pay. So I don't know what it would cost. But he's 33 next month. He scored 4 league goals this season. I mean, I know he's still Cristiano Ronaldo. He's 5 Ballon d'Or, the most recent one as well in December. But it would make no sense for United when we're talking about Alexis Sanchez coming in, when Lukaku's just signed last summer, for example. And I can see why he's making that kind of noise, Ronaldo, because it's disappointing he's going to get a new deal quicker, if you want. I mean, the last time he signed a new deal was just in the end of 2016. That's not long ago. So I think he would stay there.
From a Real Madrid perspective, this could work out beautifully. If they get, it's been a horrible season for them, but this could definitely be the silver lining.
In what sense?
If you can get Ronaldo out and get a lot of money for him.
Who's going to pay it now?
This is the problem, isn't it?
I mean, it's amazing how... I would be quite disappointed. Well, I wouldn't be disappointed because it's the way the modern guy is. Just jump shit. But at Real Madrid's time Real Madrid have backed this guy, right? Yeah. Paid him well. Give him new contract after new contract. And by the way,
he's deserved it. He's
deserved it. He's been absolutely amazing. But they need him now, and they need him performing better than what he is. He's not alone by a long chalk, but they need him focused and performing, because this is their worst domestic season for a long time. They don't need him mumping and moaning and talking about moving somewhere else.
The thing, it's funny you should say that, you know, because Real Madrid have looked after him financially. He won't see it that way. He'll be thinking the opposite. He'll be thinking, you know what, they probably should have given me more. And by the way, I've looked after them. That's how he's thinking. And if I'm Manchester United or anybody else, why would you go out and spend either the size of the transfer fee or the wages this guy wants when he's in the worst form of his life and arguably will never be back to the Ronaldo that we all know?
So you're saying United shouldn't touch this?
Absolute madness.
I thought he'd be trying to bail out his manager at this moment in time, not trying to instigate some multi-billion-dollar move and furnish his bank account again, no?
Henrik Mkhitaryan to Arsenal. This, of course, has come about since the whole Alexis Sanchez to Man United rumours have been swirling, and that Mkhitaryan could be the make-weight in that deal. But, Craig, before you tell me if it's a good deal or not, if it does happen, what do you think's gone wrong with Mkhitaryan at Man United? I've heard everything from a lack of confidence or to just not fitting into that squad.
He hasn't always played in the right position. He also has never, to my knowledge, had a real long run of games. He's had a few, and then he's out. United are not playing as attacking as they have been under the Ferguson era. This is a different side to
very different
side to the Dortmund side that he played in as well. So it has been, and also the fact that there's been better players than Mkhitaryan have struggled in England just because of the way the game is played in the Premier League.
So do you think that he's just suited better for another league then, that maybe Arsenal...
Yeah, I do. I don't see Arsenal as a great move for him. And I don't see it as a brilliant move for Arsenal either. Yeah, it would potentially fill some numbers if Ozil and Sanchez go, and he has a swap for Sanchez plus some cash. But those two have found it difficult and frustrating at Arsenal. And they're better players than Mkhitaryan. Sanchez is a better player. Ozil's a better player as a World Cup winner, no matter what you think of him. Mkhitaryan's a talent, but I get the feeling he's better suited to going back to Germany or maybe going to Italy or going to Spain. I think that's probably where his talents are better suited in terms of the pace of the game, and he's just found it difficult in England. So I would be surprised if if he's a make weight in the deal to
For Sanchez to Man United.
Arsenal, if Man United do that deal. I might be wrong, I don't know.
All right, so confusing times for Henrik.
Even confusing for
Mkhitaryan.
me to say it.
Craig's quite confused. We're all confused in saying it. We'll see exactly where he ends up. But for now, Craig thinks that he is better suited outside of the Premier League.
Welcome into Extra Time. We learned today that Craig does not like horror films. What movie did you see?
Insidious.
How was it? Did it scare you?
Well, it had horror in it for me. It was horrible.
Yeah, it was just not good.
No, I don't like. I prefer a good.
You weren't in it, were you?
Just a mirror. It's 90 minutes of a big mirror.
I just stood in front of the audience, or whatever you call them.
There you go.
Nah, it's nah.
Not your cup of tea.
I prefer a good story, not one of these horrors. I'm not frightened.
No, not bothered.
He said he gets frightened by horrors.
I couldn't watch it.
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
No, I
I'm
don't
not
like
born
horror.
Even when you know it's like...
No, I just don't. What's the point?
No, I know you don't like it, but you don't get scared.
Oh, I get scared, definitely.
What, a horror movie?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, God, just grow up, man.
Oh, it makes you jump, surely.
No.
Oh, don't pretend.
You sat like that.
Don't
you
give
look
me
on-
that.
You went, well, I can see it coming.
You can see it coming.
You got-
Here it is. Oh, here it
Here
is.
it is, into the dark room. Here it is, wait for the big noise, the music.
Oh, does that
Oh,
make
I
you
mean-
jump?
No.
Julianne, where do you stand on horror films?
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I think they're quite entertaining. It was good.
Ah, it.
It?
Oh, you saw it there?
Oh, this could get confusing.
Yeah.
You saw Insidious, and it was good.
No, I haven't yet. I haven't yet.
Don't,
Well, you just said you
don't.
saw it.
Oh, dear.
Partly my-
You just told us you saw it.
He said it was good.
Make your mind up.
Bleeding French, isn't it? It was good. Now he says it's not.
See, he heard it as well.
He was there.
Yes, yes. Are we done?
Jaws, would you call Jaws a horror movie?
No.
No.
I was more frightened with Jaws.
I was scared of that and all, but in a different way.
Why?
A different sort
Do you
of
ever,
scared.
do you never go in the water?
Oh,
man?
no. Not a chance. You kidding? Not in a million years. You catch me in the water.
Are you serious?
Aye.
You wouldn't go in the sea because of Jaws?
No.
Anywhere?
No chance. Me and the missus were on a honeymoon, right?
Right.
Right, which was
Wait for this.
1982.
Right, what happened?
Well, for some reason, we decided to get
Orca?
this like a rowing boat thing.
Is that what, a
In the sea.
rowboat? Right, out? Yeah.
You know, not a rowing boat, one of those. I had one on this side and she had one on the other at the back.
Right.
And
canoe?
we went to the old Yugoslavia.
Right.
There you go. And we got about half a mile out, and I just for a laugh started going. And I mean, it was a beautiful day. There wasn't a wave anywhere. It was
Right.
completely flat.
Okay.
And then for some reason I started going, dun 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 dun, dun. And then I ended up scaring myself. And then she started screaming because then she was scared. And then the two of us were doing this to try and get in, to get out the water, just in case.
Because you're worried there were sharks in the Yugoslavian water.
I swear, I was.
And the only reason you thought there was sharks there is because you went dun 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 dun.
Well, it just scared us. We started doing
And
the
that's
tune
like
for
a shark
Jaws.
call. So it was like sharks
may be.
thousands of miles away went, did you hear that?
Well, that's called sonar. Sharks have got sonar.
What are you going in the water? You want scuba dive or snorkel?
No chance.
You don't know what you're missing out on.
No, you're all right. I'll
Are you-
survive.
Mind
I'll
you,
survive.
saying
with
that, I used to scuba dive in Egypt on the Red Sea, and long
David
long time after I was doing it, there was people there actually killed by tiger sharks.
See? See?
But that's a shark. It's like going to Australia and then being surprised on the Gold Coast to see a shark. But on the
Come on now.
Adriatic or whatever it is.
You're a master of different seas.
well, what happens is you go to the Gold Coast by the Barrier Reef, and there's no sharks until somebody goes dun 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 dun.
See? See, that might have been what happened that day with that guy.
Anyway,
Ryan Giggs has been given the job as Wales manager. Isn't it more suitable for a manager to cut his teeth at club level first? Chance of it becoming commonplace.
no, I tell you, not always. There's a few, and somebody needs to help me out here. But other people have done it before.
Michael O'Neill, where was he before? Had he done much?
Yeah, he had. He
Criminal
managed
Yeah, Speed Up. Mark Hughes.
Gary Speed.
Mark
Yeah.
Hughes. They
Yeah.
both started it
Yeah.
with the Welsh team.
There are others. Was Klinsmann managed Germany before he managed... Has he managed Germany?
Before he did Bayern.
Get back to you on that one. There are others.
Julian,
help us out.
would you like to talk?
Sorry, yeah. There's a few guys, like what I said for Wales before. Klinsmann, of course, yeah. So
I was right.
it's quite rare, though. It's really rare.
Yeah. Dun, 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 dun.
What's going to happen to the French referee, Julian? Surely 3 matches at least for violent conduct. Any other instances of refs going mad?
That mad I've never seen. Maybe other people in other countries, other leagues have seen it. For Tony Chaperon, I think for the rest of his life he's going to just watch football on television now.
Yeah, that's it. It'll be on like a... You must have Celebrity, Big Brother and things like that in France. He'd go on that, Jules, wouldn't he?
That's a good show.
That's what we'll end up doing.
Yeah, probably, yeah. You know what? I will send him to the jungle and just leave him there.
Oh, you really don't like it?
No. Oh, you know what? If a player had done that to a referee, we would be like trying to kick a referee like that. We would be like, oh, but this is... So he deserves the same. There's no difference. You know, he can't do something like that.
Gosh.
You hate referees, right? Julian hates referees.
Can you see Antonio?
Not when you were rolling
The French referees are pretty
Not
bad.
when you were rolling in with the misses.
Aye.
Was there a guy sat up in the blowing a whistle? Saying, out the water!
That's a big whistle, by the way.
Can you see Antonio Conte go to Real Madrid next season?
No.
We're saying Real Madrid just should go all out to get Pochettino. That makes sense, doesn't it?
I don't see Conte's style fitting with how they want to play, to be honest. By the way, is the world running out of managers or what?
There's not many choices, is there?
Seriously?
Not many.
No.
Get Pochettino, get Harry Kane, bish bash poch. Perfect. Well, Real Madrid.
Is the wife been back in the water since then?
Aye.
I have got it in good.
Yes.
We can't confirm though. He does go in the water. He does go in swimming pools.
Yes.
And
Yeah. Well, didn't you see him slip on a diving board once?
Yes. He took a rather long run down the diving board and slipped.
Well, it was a competition, see who could jump the farthest.
Right. And you fell
And I
on
was
your
trying too hard and I slipped.
And he hurt his toe.
And I came on and gave it the old kid on. Yeah, it's absolutely killing me.
There we go. Go and watch Jaws tonight now, Stevie.
I can hear that tune again.
ESPN FC back on your screens tomorrow. You can join us 6 p.m. Eastern on ESPN News.
It's Monday, so don't let that face fool you. It's Craig Burley's favorite time of the day to tackle the player power rankings according to ESPNFC.com. Craig, let's start off with the first half. Our favorite name, Bas Dost, made it in the first half. Love seeing it.
Next Bond. He's got to be the next Bond.
I agree. But Luis Suarez topic.
Obviously, editorial were Barcelona heavy this weekend. Good as it was, and that record at Real Sociedad is not good, and you know they were heavily involved, obviously, in the goals and the assists, and Luis Suarez with a wonderful goal. But Mo Salah on fire again, and against a team that are one of the favourites for the Champions League in Man City. 2 goals and an assist, another sterling performance. His stats are going out through the roof. Surely he had to be at the top. Stop putting the Barcelona people at the top. Mo Salah had another good weekend. Real Madrid are missing James Rodriguez.
Yes,
Bayern Munich
they
is
are.
doing great. He looks fitter. An assist and then a wonderful free kick from just outside the box, clipped over the top.
On this side now, Harry Kane gonna Harry Kane. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, you made the case for Mo Salah, so should he be a bit over again, scoring against Man City?
Well, Doss got a hat-trick in these. What I would say about Oxlade-Chamberlain,
Opposition.
a great fillip for his confidence, his best game so far from Liverpool, at Liverpool, got them off to a great start. I thought he was superb in there. Harry Kane's broken the goal-scoring record at Tottenham in terms of the Premier League, I believe, and he's done it in such fewer games and some really big names, and of course he was on hand at the weekend again. Villarreal just added to Real Madrid's woes.
Ooh, yes.
Goalkeeper had to make a lot of... We've got a goalkeeper in here. Goodness me, had to make a lot of saves. But Villarreal, we're a threat going forward, and Real Madrid are vulnerable. A hat-trick here for longer, but it was against Las Palmas, the bottom of the league. bottom of the league, but I suppose it is a hat-trick. We mentioned Oxlade-Chamberlain, superb. Timo Werner, a goal and assist for Leipzig, who are still going well in Germany. Good little player. We'll probably see him in Russia for Germany as a squad player in there. Yeah, so not bad, not bad.
Not
there
too
might
bad.
be some that are left out. I don't know. Have a moan up. Get in touch with us, not me, her. Leave me out of it. If you're not happy any of your players or your favourites are not in,
He's
get in
not
touch.
bothered.
Feel free. But it's nothing to do with me. It's all her fault.
It's not even my fault. I didn't make this list, but we do love breaking it down, don't we, Craig?
No.
All right. Thanks so much to Craig Burley. You can see the full list and probably reasons why these guys are number one on ESPNFC.com. Well, it seems like Alexis Sanchez is up for grabs. Everyone wants him, and why not? Except for Chelsea, Craig. And I think some of the Chelsea fans want to pick your brain and weigh the pros and cons as to why you think Chelsea are not after this man.
I'm sure they don't. And
We love Craig's
I think
opinion.
at the end of the day, you know, there is no cast iron guarantee that Chelsea are not trying to do some sort of deal. I mean, the two Manchester clubs are reported to be doing it. Liverpool, hat was in the ring about a
Exactly.
sneaky little bid and tried to entice him. And his name's been mentioned with Chelsea before. I read Mark Ogden, our colleagues, some of his column on it, and the whys and the whys not. His age, 29, could be an issue. The transfer fee, no.
Not typical for Chelsea, huh?
Well, no, but what is typical for Chelsea at the moment? They get a manager in, they sack him. They get players in, they leave. There's a big turnaround and involvement of personnel at Chelsea. You know, the Conte situation might be an issue. The fact Michael Emenalo left as well, who was operating some of the transfers behind the scenes, he's left as well. Who's filling that void at the moment? You know, the wages, I read Mark said, might be an issue. The other side of the coin is, if Sanchez, you know, if Chelsea were looking to offset the loss of Eden Hazard, and he was to go to Real Madrid at some point, and it would probably be the summer if that was the case, and that's been muted, then Sanchez somewhat offsets that. You've got Willie in there, you've got Pedro there. So that would kind of offset that for a couple of years, not obviously over the long term because he's an older player. So I don't know. The whole thing at Chelsea's kind of strange at the moment because one, they're not playing well. Two, they've lost the people that I mentioned. Three, the manager never looks particularly happy, even though he's had success. And I think that's always a difficult one for a player when you're looking at the reasons to go to a club out with the money. And I think the lack of anything that's settled at Chelsea at the moment might be one of the reasons why Sanchez's camp might even have said to Chelsea, look, we're not interested.
Forget about it.
Yeah, forget about it. So that I think he's got his heart set on going to Manchester, one of the two big clubs up there. That's what it looks like to me.
There's a lot of uncertainty surrounding Chelsea right now. One thing that is for certain is that Craig is in his Chelsea blues and he's looking quite fancy. We'll see if Alexis Sanchez decides to wear some Chelsea blue as well or if he'll stick with the Manchester clubs.